What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's episode, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. If you guys been following along with the videos, you'll know I bought the M quite a few months ago now, and I have almost 4,000 miles on this bike already. It's been a huge dream of mine to buy this bike, but there are definitely some things about this bike that I didn't know before I bought it. Today we're gonna be talking about the pros, the cons, what the ownership experience has been like. I got a pretty cool spot that I've never been to that I just seen the other day that we're gonna go to today while we're out talking about the M. I'm also going to compare this bike to other 1000cc bikes on the market. One of those bikes mainly that we're going to be comparing to is just the base model, the normal S1000. A huge question I get all the time is what's the M like compared to the S? It's going to be an all-in-one video. And also, we're going to talk about the big question, which is this bike worth the hefty price tag that comes with it? MSRP brand new on this bike is $42K, out the door $45. I mean, there's over 50 grand on paper on this bike. We're going to hop on the wheel and go scoot around Dallas, go to this little spot like I said. I won't lie to you, man, one of the things that I love the most about this bike is just something about a parking garage and a loud motorcycle that just goes together so well. Oh my god, it's a chick cop. She's lit. Damn, she's rolling. What the heck? That was just such a different state, man. Let's get into the whole reason why we're making this video, which is to talk about the M. This is my 5th 1000cc bike. 3 of them being BMWs, and they were all great to me. I've never really had any problems with my BMWs. It's a thing that I see a lot of people talking about. The reliability issues with the S, and even on a lot of these M1000s, they're blowing up. 3,910 miles, crazy. We're so close to 4K miles. Even though we picked up the new bike, the Sumo, I just can't stay off the M. It doesn't matter. I love this bike so incredibly much. Knock on wood, there's been no problems yet with the M. Let's get that out of the way. But there are some small complaints I have with it. If you guys aren't familiar with the M1000 engine, this bike does burn oil. I've confirmed this from multiple other M owners, and I tested it out for myself. I filled the sight glass up to a certain level where I remember. After 2 decently hard rides, the oil was noticeably lower. Now, it's not something to where it's gonna like drain itself mid-ride, but it's just something where you have to keep watching it. No matter what, you should be watching where your oil levels are. It takes like 5 seconds to just check where your oil's at before you go for a ride. Quickest and easiest way to detonate your bike is oil starvation. So make sure you guys are checking the oil before you guys go ride every single time so you guys can stay riding. One of the reasons why I think it burns oil is because it has the 2-ring piston. The S1000 motors just have a single ring piston. I just think that with the 2-ring piston, it just requires more lubrication. Do I think it's burning oil? No, I think it's just using more oil to lubricate those pistons. So in a way, it's burning oil, but I don't know. That's my take on things. I've reached out to a ton of M1000 owners. For all of them that have owned it for a good duration, they all said the same thing. It's also a race engine. This M1000 has titanium internals. Still, what a lot of people don't know about the M1000, this bike is designed purely for track. It's BMW's homologated race bike, and they built this bike for direct competition with the V4. Another con about this bike too is actually the massive winglets do not help this bike at a certain top speed. This bike again was built for the track, and over at speeds of like 170, I just noticed the bike drag down a lot harder compared to my S. When I was riding my S, it would bury 190 so fast, but when I ride the M, it just struggles to even get to 190. Jumping in and comparing it to the S1K, these bikes are pretty identical when it comes to engine horsepower. If you set up an S and an M the same way, and you put them side by side and you race them, the M is going to beat the S to 100 miles per hour quicker. The reason that being is because the M has the titanium internals, which means the motor spins up quicker. But with the fact that these winglets kind of suck at super high-end top speeds, the S is fully capable of coming back around the M on the top end, being that there is a long stretch of road. So what do you get different is the big question when buying an M compared to an S. Well, like I said, the titanium internals in the motor, and you get the full carbon fiber rare version of an S. So a lot of people, you know, it's just the carbon fiber that makes it 20 grand more. Oh. Let's see if we can drop back and hit a wall-y real quick. What are I love the M1000 so much? I mean, just look at this thing. God, it sounds so good. A few more different things with the M to the S, but stuff that's just so small and minute, you'd never be able to tell. You're a wild guess and say this guy is the culprit of in the middle of the road. I never thought I'd own something like this, so the main reason why I bought this bike is because it was something that I wanted forever, and I worked so hard to put myself in a position to obtain this bike. This bike is different for me, man. I look at this bike and I don't see $20,000 more for carbon fiber. I see a bike that not a lot of people have, a street legal homologated race bike that is the rare version of my favorite bike of all time. A true enthusiast will appreciate the M, the lore behind it, the fact that BMW built it as a race bike. I should not be riding this on the street right now. It should be in Toprak's garage only, even though he's not doing WSBK anymore. God bless his soul. Also with the new M1000s, they're not even full carbon anymore. They're slapping the same price tag on this bike, which is insanely high. I definitely think the 23, the 24 models, this one specifically, the full carbon, definitely going to become a rare spec. BMW never put a number list out on like how many of these were produced. I've looked it up and there's nothing on the internet that I can find of just how many of these bikes were made. I also want to get into the maintenance on this bike. It's another big question people are asking. You think again with a crazy expensive bike, the maintenance is going to be outrageous. Like I said, this bike's been great to me. I stay on top of my oil changes. It's basically standard. This book calls for 3,500 miles, which is like any other sport bike. I change my oil every 1,000 miles, way before the book calls for it. But the way I ride this bike sometimes, I like to stay on top of things. The heat cycling the motor constantly lowers the viscosity of oil, so it's nice to just refresh the oil. It's peace of mind for me. I care about this bike so much, and I want to continue riding this bike. That's how I've been with all my bikes though as well. Never changed it at 1,000 miles. That's crazy extra. But I've always changed my oil early. I've taken care of all my bikes. Like I said, knock on wood, everything's been good. I ride this bike so hard sometimes. Oh my God. He said, yeah, all good, bro. I meant to do that. This bike just rips! Going back to the maintenance part, I haven't had to replace any major parts on this bike yet. I will tell you though, when you start to get into the carbon fiber and just the aesthetic of this bike, the money for these parts are insane. If you drop this bike at 0 miles per hour, it's pretty much safe to assume you're spending 10 G's, bare minimum, for OEM stuff. So maintenance wise, doing oil filter, changing all your fluids, it's like every other bike. There's no big service on this bike like the V4Rs have. Once you do start getting into actual physical parts on this bike, it becomes so much money. And on these M parts, they become so hard to get as well. Something were to happen to this bike and I had to get replacement BMW parts like the fairings, this carbon fiber. Even if I had the money for it, there's no telling how long it would take me to even get it. So little of these parts are just ready to go. So it's a massive wait time. We're here. Oh yeah. These are cool, dude. There's no telling what's inside these walls right now. I seen a little video of all the cars that were here, and it looked crazy. They said I was born the day I got my license over there. That's so cool. Next to the brother. Look at this thing, man. Just looking at it. This is the reason why I love this bike so much. You can argue all you want. 20 grand more for carbon fiber, but look at this thing. The shapes of it. The colors, the front tire hugger, the rotor cooler. I mean, this thing is just insane to me. I gotta lock it, dude. Even though I know nobody's gonna mess with it, I'm gonna make sure the whale always comes back home with us. But anyways, like I said, this is the place that we are headed to. I guess inside this warehouse is just a ton of cars. And there's a restaurant as well in here. So hopefully we can get some food. Hopefully it's open. Yes. Oh, it's a Trans Am. Right as you walk in. Oh, we got motorcycles. Alright, we just got the food. We got the Wagyu burger with the Caesar salad. Insane. What other places do you know you can go grab some food and be surrounded by bikes and cars? Crazy. Alright, well, we're back here. We're getting a glimpse at some of these cars. Holy. My gosh. This is just everybody else's cars, right? It's like storage. Okay, so Not a giant collection. I thought this was a giant collection, but this is like a full-on drag car, right?
Yeah, 2,500 horsepower. Built by Justice Performance. Lady driven.
Really? That's actually cool. That's so cool. I don't want to get too close to these cars.
I'll open the door for you on this one just because I know.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta respect everybody's stuff, so I don't want to get too. Oh my gosh, yeah, full race car. Do any of these people that store cars, are they like not from Dallas? Like you got people like out of state that store them and stuff too?
They have like vacation homes here or something along those lines. Most of them live here in Dallas. They just don't have the space to build a bigger home.
Yeah, got you.
Come in, watch their own vehicles, have detailers that can wash your car for you while you're taking a meeting or heating.
The old rolls right here. Oh my gosh. And then you guys got 3 car lifts each row, all the way down. The old Viper right there, classic. Remember having little toy cars of this exact Viper when I was a kid. This is like the 007 edition?
Yeah, so when you start it, the screen up there does like the intro of James Bond.
No way. Look at this Bond edition on the seat. The Triumph edition James Bond bike. I've never even heard of this thing.
This thing's no joke.
Yeah, but it rips off-road.
Yeah, it's got portable axles and everything.
Carbon fiber accents too. Yeah, this blue is super nice. The purple Lambo. It's like something you'd see in like France or Italy.
Yeah, it's
rolling around.
See
this one right here?
Yeah.
The top right? Yeah, I didn't even see that when we walked past it. Crazy, 44 miles on it.
360 and S270s.
How much do the Revoltas go for?
Around 750.
750. It's a clean gray on that.
The one to the right is not a 765, that's a 750.
Okay.
But the blue one and this orange one are both 765 LTs. We have
Nice.
2 more that aren't currently here. They only made 765 of them for the world, and we had 4.
Yes. Oldest vehicle right here.
1916 Harley Davidson.
1916?
Yeah, it's over 100 years old.
Wow. Nah, this is cool. Damn, a whole row of Ducatis. Older Aprilias, some older Gixxers. Super cool colorway on this Aprilia. And then they got a barbershop right here. Well, we're upstairs now. We got an insane view of all the cars. How much money do you think in cars are here?
I think we're sitting around
$35
35 million.
million in cars here. Crazy, man. All right, so we're up here. We got a random bookshelf, right? But then you push on it. This is the cigar lounge in this place. There's a hidden room. And you have everything in here. Okay, I think I've seen it all after this. A little game room up here. Racing simulator. So we pretty much checked out everything. We're gonna hop back on the M and continue the vlog, but absolutely cool place. I'll drop a link in the description to where you guys can check this place out. All right, well the M is still here. Every time I leave this bike and I can't see it, I'm always wondering how the whale's doing. I get anxiety riding this bike sometimes just because I know the caliber of mishaps to this bike. You know, I talked about earlier how expensive it is replacing parts. And even if you have, you know, 15 G's to blow on some new carbon on this bike, good luck even getting it anytime soon. I have the M1K right next to me in the apartment, and just turning around and looking at this thing every time, it's absolutely insane. There's no day that goes by when I'm not riding or looking at this bike where I question selling it. This is after the fact that I've owned it. This is after the fact that I realized there's not a ton of differences with the S to the M. And still knowing that I paid all this amount of money, and it's not insanely different than the S, still am insanely in love with this bike. I have no regrets buying it, man. Every time I go out and people see the bike, they freak out. You truly do have to see this bike in person to appreciate everything that the M has to offer. Listen to this thing, man. God, it sounds so good. Let's get a little woolly in right here. Putting this thing in the sky too, man. Just next level. I feel like everybody's just scared to ride these bikes super hard. I don't blame them, dude. The amount of money that it is for this thing, again, ridiculous. I refuse to let any price tag on any bike hinder the way I ride these things. I bought the bike to have fun, so it's exactly what I'm going to do. The only thing I can do is just stay on top of my oil changes like I do. Keep good care of the bike overall, so. The S1Ks and the M's have the greatest decel ever. I mean, those pops, man. Again, everything on this bike just never gets old to me. I picked up a brand new bike a few weeks ago, and I still can't stay off the M. I should tell you how much I'm in love with this bike. me, it's not about having the fastest bike in the world. I am very big on the aesthetics, and like I said, best looking bike to me ever. So smooth, it's so linear. I solely believe that anybody could just hop on this bike and just cruise it and be fine. Don't do that. You guys are brand new riders. Stay away from these 1000 cc's, man. No point at all in having a 1K on the street. There's also no point in not having a 1K for the street. If I had to rate this bike on a scale when it comes to what you get for your money, this bike's definitely not high tier. But if I had to rate this bike on personally how much fun I have when it compares to riding any other bike, it definitely is at the top of my list. If you want to get statistical and real about everything, sure, this bike's not worth 45 grand. But like I said, a true enthusiast will appreciate the craftsmanship behind the M. And looking at the bike vividly, it's just completely a game changer. Although it does look similar, it's completely different in the shape. And the M just pops so hard, man. This carbon fiber just gleams in the sun. If I were to hop onto an M and an S blindfolded, the only reason why I know it'd be the M is because the seat sits up a little bit higher. On the S, I'm completely flat foot. On the M, I'm almost tippy toe. Basically what I'm saying is the similarities between this bike overall with the way it rides from the S to the M, it's barely anything. It's just the whole lore on the M1K, why this bike was built, the way it looks, titanium internals, is it worth 42 G's? Well, I think that's up to you guys to decide. 42 grand, you could buy an S and make it look like an M, probably have enough money left over to buy a 600 for the track. Definitely some different perspectives on how you can think about the M. Back to the highways with the traffic out here in Dallas. I feel like Texas is like the only one that puts highways in the sky. You gotta love it though. We're literally like hundreds of feet in the air right now. Texas is just like, how can we fit 5 exits on top of each other? Oh, I know. Let's just build all the way to the f***ing clouds. R1, bro. My old S1000, I put over 35,000 miles on that bike. Same thing like this. I did long wheelies. I rode it hard. Never once failed me, man. The reason why I have not bought anything else other than a BMW, besides the Supermoto, but we don't count that because it's not an actual sport bike. Oh! That was a chick. She said, hell yeah. Overall, I've had this bike for about 3 months now, almost 4,000 miles. If we had a little bit longer of a trip, we'd probably hit 4K on this ride. Everybody told me not to buy an M1000. They're like, yo, it blows up. BMW mechanics don't know how to seat bearings correctly. Everybody told me not to buy the M. It's very similar to just every other bike. Stay on top of your maintenance, take care of the bike. Look at this Beamer. Just bouncing back and forth between slowly getting through this traffic and sitting in it. As you can see, we have miles of this traffic. Like I said earlier in the video, it's not about having the fastest bike. If you guys seen the videos, you'll see I lose all the time. I'm just a big aesthetic guy and full carbon fiber, and even the shapes of this bike. When I first seen these come out, my jaw dropped. I was like, what is the shape of this front fairing? It's so massive. We'll stop here in just a minute and we'll look at the bike again, talk about a couple more things with the bike, and go over some things that I'm thinking about doing to the M. Same place we started earlier. Well, like I said, we'd stop and take a look at the M again, the same spot we were here earlier. Feel a little bit better now since the sun's getting blocked by some clouds. But anyways, we got the M1000 in front of us, man. The bike that is the main character of this video. It truly is insane to me just looking at this bike, and in person it is just so crazy. If you put the S right here next to the M, like I said, it does look pretty similar, but the shapes are just way more defined on the M. It's way bigger too. You put an S next to an M and it looks like a 600 the size of the bike wise. Basically, I'm torn between doing like all the colored parts of this bike white and then the wheels white, or if I want to do just red on all the parts that are like blue, the dark blue to the light blue. I'm thinking about about just doing those red, but I don't know, it's hard. I told myself when I bought this bike I wouldn't switch up anything the way it looks wise. A lot of times, myself included, when we get bikes and we want to customize them, we do whole new fairings. But we can't do that with the M. It's full carbon fiber. So we're basically stuck between wrapping these colors or painting them. If I were to paint, there'd pretty much be no going back. So I definitely don't think I'm going to be painting these fairings. Probably going to wrap the parts that I want to be done. I will say, out of all the bikes that I've owned, hands down, the M1000 has brought me the most smiles. I literally don't even have to ride this bike. I could just pop a chair right here and just stare at this bike and I'll be completely fine. And we'll figure out some cool things to do with it to make it a little bit different, but not overkill, because I don't want to make this bike look tacky at all. I'm sure we're missing some things about the M, but I think we did cover a lot of the main things behind the M1000 itself. We're going to continue to have some fun on this bike, and whatever happens with this bike, good or bad, I will be updating you guys. Before we close out the video fully, I do want to say I appreciate all you guys for watching the videos. Without you guys, this bike wouldn't be sitting in front of me, and I owe everything to all the boys, and that's also why I refuse to never give up. You guys are going to have a lot of people come in and out of your life, people that were designed to come in and test your character, and it's so important that you guys stay true to yourself and what you believe in. If you have something that you're insanely passionate about, you can never let anybody come in between that. Don't listen to people when they tell you it's not possible, because if you see other people with something that you want, that right there tells you it's possible. The funnest things in life are going to be the hardest things you have to work for, and you can pretty much put that into every aspect of your life. Life is truly what you make it out to be, and yeah, I just want to say that. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning into the video as always. I'll catch y'all guys in the next one. Peace.